Okay. Okay, left off page 301, Aloha Beis. Mevatel Talmud Torah Lishmoa Mikra Megillah. It's Gemara. One interrupts his Torah study for the sake of Mikra Megillah. Gemara tells us that Rabbi Yehuda Nossi, he would give a shir, always at a certain period of time, and he would delay the shir to say later in the day for the reading of the Megillah. So the Megillah took precedence over his shir, the shir that he would say, even though the shir was said later, but still delaying it, not saying in its proper time. That's bit. So we see that Mevatel Talmud Torah L'Shmoi Mikra Megillah. So there's a famous question which is asked by the Beis Ephraim Zalman Margolis. He was one of the Gedolei Yisrael in the 1800s, and Shimon always used to tell over a story about him. You know, he himself, I forgot the city, he was maybe Lodz or Krakow. He was the chief rabbi, and he was one of the Gedolei Ador, and he was a banker, very wealthy man. He was wealthier than his balabatim, so nobody could tell him what to do. You understand? So he was a gadol, and he had tremendous wealth. So one day, and he could afford anything he needed. Didn't take a salary, and he had a gold pocket watch he would wear in his vest. One day he comes, it's about Seder Shir, and his balabat, sees he's disturbed. They said, "What are you disturbed about?" He says, "I lost my pocket watch." So they say, "And if you lost it, buy yourself another one." Person, if that's all he has, okay, that's considered an asset. But you, it's not an asset. You can buy another pocket watch. He says, "You don't understand. It's not the watch. The question is, why did I lose the watch? That's what I'm bothered with. The kapara, why? What am I atoning for? What did I do wrong? That's what I'm disturbed about." Our Shiv Zafir used to tell it always. Okay, so he's the one who has the cash. What do you mean, Talmud Torah Mikra Megillah? Megillah, the person learns the Megillah before Purim. He's studying Torah. It's mitzvah Talmud Torah. So it's Mevatel Talmud Torah Mikra Megillah. So what he says, famous answer, that if a person is able to study at a more advanced level, and you study at a more superficial level, and at that time you can learn at a more advanced level, that's Bittul Torah. Person can learn Gemara, he says, "Well, I'll say Tehillim." And it's not a time to say Tehillim. You know, relatively speaking, you're wasting your time. You have to be Mavra Sedge, you have to learn Chumash and Rashi. Shnai Mikra, you're supposed to do, okay, so you have to do it. But when you should be learning Gemara, you learn something else at a much more superficial level. That's Bittul Torah. So that's Mevatel Talmud Torah Mikra Megillah. Kal v'chomer l'shar mitzvah shel Torah shekulam didochim nei Mikra Megillah. He says if Talmud Torah is superseded by Megillah, and Talmud Torah connected kulam is another mitzvah. We're talking about a mitzvah which could be delayed. It could be put off. Let's say you have a mitzvah. Person didn't put on tefillin, and it's right before Shkia. It's either you put on your tefillin or you listen to the Megillah. What do you put on your tefillin? Right? Because, right? But here, neither could be done later, right? You missed the tefillin, it's either tefillin or Megillah. You put on the tefillin. Okay? So it means it's speaking where the mitzvah could be delayed. So the bittul we're speaking about now, it's not doing the mitzvah whatsoever. It's if a mitzvah is incumbent on part person, it has to be done, and by doing one, you're not going to do the other, then that mitzvah takes precedence over Mikra Megillah. It's only a question over here of delaying it. Besides being Doraisa. Talmud Torah is also Doraisa. They're both there. No. So then Mikra Megillah, it's Pirsum Minisa. That's Pirsum Minisa. Why? Shein b'chodov shenidchem Mikra Megillah miponov chutz. The only thing we supersede, we delay Mikra Megillah chutz mimes mitzvah shein lo kovim. God forbid you find a Jewish corpse, person died, a Jew. No, there's nobody to tend to his burial needs. That's a mes mitzvah. So, as a result of you, so it's either the Megillah or attending to his needs, the human dignity, mes mitzvah supersedes, takes precedence over the reading of the Megillah. Why is it obvious? No, you can bury the person later. But that's when you're not going to be able to. You'll bury him later. It's the disrespect. Right? We'll put him in a room for an hour. We'll read the Megillah. Then we'll tend to his needs. No. If the person is laying unattended to, it's a disgrace. So you can't delay it. That disgrace cannot be put off. So here you read the Megillah later. You read the Megillah later. Which means you're going to read the Megillah later. We're not, again, we'll see in a moment. What about if you're not going to be able to, you'll be able to bury the person later, but if you bury him now, you're not going to read the Megillah whatsoever. Then you read the Megillah, and you bury the person later. Here it's about which is the priority. Mes mitzvah or reading the Megillah. You can be able to do both. We say the reading of the Megillah. Because the man is lying in disgrace now, he should be buried now. You read the Megillah afterwards. Similar to Talmud Torah, as we said before. Rav Yehuda Nasi said the shir afterwards. But in presently, the reading of Megillah took precedence over the shir. Okay? We'll see. Shein lo kovrim. See, speaking of the context, the one who comes upon this mes mitzvah, first he buries him, and then he reads the Megillah. It's not speaking he's not going to read the Megillah at all. It's just a question of priority. Do I read the Megillah and then attend to his needs, or first you attend to the needs of this person who has no one to take care of those needs? And in Nazir too. What's we're quoting? And the Nazir, what about its compound? Nazir and Kohen Gadol. He does both. He's permitted. He's obligated.
So you see the strength of that mitzvah.
Yeah, definitely. But we'll see that. But what about, you will do the mitzvah. Here you will do the mitzvah. The question is which one takes precedence over the other. So we'll see. The Ramos says. See here the Mechaber says, Kovro tchila v'akach korei. The one who comes upon it first buries the person, and then he reads the Megillah. It's interesting, today, thank God we don't come upon this. In Europe, especially after the war, the Kloisenberger Rebbe, if you read about him, he was in the DP camp. He had a visa to come to the States after the war. He could have. He stayed behind for an extended period of time, first to attend to the needs of many of the survivors, emotional and their material needs. He became like their father and mother. In addition, for about 3 months, together with this person, Lieutenant Birnbaum, the Eisenhower allowed, they had trucks, and he went, they had the death march. You know how many corpses were just strewn along the side of the road? And he gathered thousands of corpses and buried them. He had a truck, and they would go with Jews on the truck. They would get off the truck, take them in a respectful way, put them on the truck, and they would bury all these people. This is all mes mitzvah. That's what they were busy for about 3 months after the war, after they were liberated, and after they got back to themselves. I mean, physically they were all malnourished. They weren't physically capable, but once they had sufficient strength and they were in relatively okay health, they went and the Kloisenberger, he would be in the truck, instruct them and everything else. That's what they would do. That was mes mitzvah. There were other people, people were buying up soap. There was soap that was made from human remains, from the humans. That's mes mitzvah. I mean, that has to be buried. It's part of a Jewish. It's the fat of the person. I mean, that's what it was made from. Yeah. When we say that the mes mitzvah takes precedence over Megillah, there's enough time to do both. So it's which one do you do before what? But if you can't do both, if you do the mes mitzvah, you're going to miss the time to read the Megillah. Ain't shum mitzvah doraisa nidches mikra Megillah. Same thing. You're going to miss it. Night is an obligation. Day is an obligation. Two separate obligations. But it doesn't. But they're both obligations. It's two separate obligations. You miss the night, even though you do the day, you don't fulfill your night obligation. So here you have enough time to do both. So let's say at nighttime, you're holding an hour before dawn. The person didn't read the Megillah yet. He attends to the mes mitzvah now. He's going to miss the night obligation. He should first read the Megillah and then tend to the burial of the person. Okay, that's what we're speaking about. So he says, if you can't do both, it's one or the other. No mitzvah doraisa is superseded because of the reading of the Megillah. So what does it mean? Mes mitzvah takes precedence. We're speaking where the Megillah can be read. There's enough time to read the Megillah afterwards. Right? We're saying every mitzvah doraisa, Mikra Megillah takes precedence. He says that's only if there's enough time for both. Right? You'll be able to read the Torah, put on tefillin, whatever the mitzvah to do afterwards. Right? But if you can't, first, let's say we situation shluch hakam. Send it away to mother bird. You come upon, you have to send it away. Let's say by the time you read the Megillah, the mother bird's not going to be there. So that's what we call mitzvah overis. It's a mitzvah which is passing. Let's say a person didn't say birchas hamazon, and the Torah says, and you have 72 minutes, and you're holding at that point. You read the Megillah, and you have no other food to eat. You're not going to eat a little bit now, and you finished eating. You've depleted all your food, right? So if you can read the Megillah, you're not benching, and we're talking about you have a chiyuv d'oraisa to bench. Well, chalta v'savota. He ate it to a stated point. Right, he ate Sudas Purim, and then he reminded you, by the way, he didn't hear Kriyas Megillah during the daytime. Okay? So now, reads the Megillah, it's right before Shkia. He's going to read the Megillah, or he's not going to bench. That's what we're dealing with over here. Then he benches. The Mikra Megillah is going to be lost. It's lost. It's only, again, where you can do both. Can't do both, then the Doraisa takes precedence over Mikra Megillah, even though it's pursuing Nisa. Okay? Let's see the Mishna Berura. No, Presumid Doris, no. No, Purim, nothing. Presumid is not Doris. No, not Doris. Not Doris. It's a concept. They enacted, you should read, to publicize the miracle. It's always every fence. What's the value of publicizing the miracle? Hanukkah, Purim. God doesn't make miracles, every day. No, I mean, revealed miracles. I mean, of this magnitude, right? So therefore, it's important for us to keep understand God's involvement with us, to what degree He values us, right? And that keeps us in line. But if it's forgotten, so it's gone. Okay? No. Then you don't. You take care of it. You attend to the mess, and then you read it later. Okay. See, base. Vatal Talmud Torah. With Saloma after Talmud Torah, Shokol keneged kol mitzvos. You see, Talmud Torah keneged kulam. The Chofetz Chaim cites the Vilna Gaon in his comment in one of it where he writes, when we say Talmud Torah keneged kulam, it's not you study for an hour. It's keneged kulam. Every word of Torah you study is a mitzvah asay, is a positive commandment, right? So if you learn a Blat Gemara, and on that page there are 500 words. Every word you read is a positive commandment. Every word is keneged kulam. It's 500 mitzvahs. That's what he says. Every word you read is a mitzvah of Talmud Torah. See, so he makes the calculation. So a person sits and studies for half an hour, and you're able to cover 2 sides of a page, or you're able to study some of the Mishnayos. You make a calculation of how many mitzvahs you're actually accomplishing. So therefore, he says, so what happens if you waste your time? So there's a claim against the person. You could have, right? You could have what? You could have studied at that, because the Vilna Gaon says by din v'cheshbon. Right? It says that ultimately there's a din v'cheshbon. Right? This din means what you did. Cheshbon is what you could have done. So there's a cheshbon, that's the computation. First there's a din for what you did wrong. Now we're going to figure out the mitzvah you could have done which you didn't do. See, that's what he says regarding mitzvah Talmud Torah. So how many mitzvahs I say could have you fulfilled in the hour that you wasted? And where the time was available for you to study. That's the cheshbon. Right, correct. Before you have the din, you have a cheshbon. No, there's a separate computation. That's the Vilna Gaon. What? The value of any mitzvah on Shabbos has greater value. Rav Shlomo af Talmud Torah shokol kinekol mitzvahs afilu hoyse Talmud Torah shel chabura gedola. You had a large group of people studying. Shel mei anoshim shalom de beis abayis. 100 people get together, they study. Afiloch tzorch levatel leilach grosso b'tzibur. Mishna Berura Purim. He says something interesting. Let's say you have 100 people studying, and as a result of the Megillah, now they're going to break up into groups, and the group, everybody will study, right? But you're going to lose. So everybody's going to read the Megillah. They'll read the Megillah. But reading the Megillah is not going to be Berura Purim. You can read the Megillah on your own. You can read the Megillah with a minyan, with 10. But now, if I interrupt the shir, I'm able to read it with 100 people. So doing a mitzvah within a larger group, it's a greater glory to Hashem. As Shlomo says, Berura Purim. Therefore, you should interrupt the shir. Although you'll study, the people will study. But you're interrupting, so you're losing. You're one of the 100 people in the shir. You're interrupting that to do the mitzvah of Megillah Berura Purim. Person always, he has his minyan. He always goes to his minyan. Ain't tzorich leil beis haKnesses. Let's say a person has his minyan in his house, and you have a shul in town. Throughout the year, you always daven your shul, and now it's a question of, and you can read the Megillah in your house with 10 people, or go to shul, you read it with 1,000 people, or 100 people. Chayodim write that since this is your location that you've always daven, you have no obligation to go to the shul. Yeah, right. That's what. So the question is: so what about throughout the year? So you should be davening in the big shul. Why do you have a minyan kavua? Why do you have the minyan in the house or the smaller minyan? Throughout the year, you should be in the larger shul. I mean, Rav Melech is a concept which applies to everything, right? Right. The Mishna Berura says. So that's the answer. Regarding davening, they're not equal. But reading the Megillah, let's say it's quiet, everybody can hear it. So then you should go to the shul. So that he says, because you daven in this location, that's your permanent, your makom kavua, you have no obligation. Rav Amjishmel does not supersede makom kavua. That's what he's saying. Right? We have like lechem Mishnah and Kiddush. Even though you have enough wine where everybody can say their own Kiddush, and people are capable of saying their own Kiddush, the minig is one person says Kiddush for many people. One person is motzi, right? Lechem Mishnah, even though you give Lechem Mishnah to everyone, but if you could work it out, even though you could work it out, one person says for everybody. So what's the principle? Rav Melech. That when one person represents many, brings greater glory to Hashem. Rav Melech. Not at all. Everything has to be equal. If you have two hashkam, one larger, one smaller, and it's equal. No. You don't have to. No, you can go to hashkam. Firstly, it's not equal. That's number one. Because hashkama has greater value than the later minyan. Secondly, it's not at the same time. Everything is equal at the same time. Right? You have a choice, A or B at the same time, so if now you could ever do something in a more elaborate way, you should do it more elaborately. Here I have to delay, to daven later. You're not obligated. Mitzvah boli yotchal tach mitzvah. Mitzvah presents itself, yeah, you should not delay it. I'm not saying it's greater, but you have no obligation based on the principle of Rav Melech to delay, to wait for the larger minyan. I mean, the Mishna Berura cites an opinion that says that a person who always davens with nets, even daven privately without a minyan, it has greater value than davening with a minyan. Right. No, but if it's truly a nets minyan, sunrise minyan, even the yechidus without a minyan has greater value according to some. I remember the first time I heard this, Rav Shalom Shvadron, he came in, must have been 1965. First time he came to the United States, and he came to raise money for Chinuch Atzmoi, as a representative of Chinuch Atzmoi, and he always davened nets. He was Rabbi Shlomo Zalman Auerbach's brother-in-law, and he was Rabbi Shlomo Zalman Auerbach's sister, Rabbi Shalom Shvadron, and he himself was a gadol, but he was a famous Maggid, and he said he always davened nets his whole life, never ever missed nets, maybe unless he was not well. And he davened, and then in '65 there's no nets minyan in Baltimore. Baltimore's like in the '50s, 40s. You don't find these things. He davened the Yechidus, did not wait for the minyan. Because he never ever missed nets. Person once in a while davens nets. Well, I want to daven nets. Now, if you normally don't, then you should daven with a minyan. Of course. No, after it's Mishna Berura cites it. That there's an opinion that says that if you always daven nets, the value of nets is greater value than davening with a minyan at a later time.
There was no night davening payment until Rosh Hashanah came for a visit.
It's interesting. What he established in Baltimore, then he comes to Baltimore and he finds out on Sunday, Shacharis during the week of 7 in town, and he finds out Sunday Shacharis is 8:30. He says, "What's going on over here? If during the week at 7, why on Sunday is it 8:30? Well, people are not going to work." He says, "Therefore what? What? Now that you have time to learn, you shouldn't have. You should be learning." So people say, Sunday we mow our lawns. What do you mean you talk to a man coming? This is Yerushalayim in the 60s. Yerushalayim in the 60s is no different than Yerushalayim in the 30s. It was the same thing before the Six-Day War. See, if you can afford to hire a gardener to mow your lawn, you spend your time. Well, I enjoy mowing your lawn. It's like talking to a person from a different era. He doesn't even understand what you're talking about. So then, Sunday schedule was the same as the weekday schedule. That's what he established, and there were many shiurim which were established because of that his visit at that time. Okay.